Good evening and welcome to Friday Vespers for October 2nd. This evening we're talking about finding connection. Many of us have been reeling these past couple of days over the death of our dear friend, Greg Heine. And even just saying that, it's difficult to say those words. As we consider our grief over his sudden death, combined with the many other griefs and losses of the past several months, it just becomes shockingly overwhelming. While we each have our own ways of coping with loss and pain, we need to remember the importance of turning to one another, leaning on one another. The writer of Ecclesiastes tells us of the value of friendship in chapter 4. Two are better than one because they have a good reward for their toil. For if they fall, one will lift up the other. But woe to one who is alone and falls and does not have another to help. Again, if two lie together, they will keep warm. But how can one keep warm alone? And though one might prevail against another, two will withstand. A threefold cord is not quickly broken. In her book, Braving the Wilderness, Brené Brown devotes an entire chapter to the subject of connecting with others. She calls it Hold Hands with Strangers. Here's the introduction to that chapter. We're in a spiritual crisis, and the key to building a true belonging practice is maintaining our belief in inextricable human connection. That connection, the spirit that flows between us and every other human in the world, is not something that can be broken. However, our belief in the connection is constantly tested and repeatedly severed. When our belief that there's something greater than us, something rooted in love and compassion, breaks, we are more likely to retreat to our bunkers, to hate from afar, to tolerate BS, to dehumanize others, and ironically, to stay out of the wilderness. It's counterintuitive, but our belief in inextricable human connection is one of our most renewable sources of courage in the wilderness. I stand up for what I believe is right when I know that regardless of the pushback and criticism, I'm connected to myself and others in a way that can't be severed. When we don't believe in an unbreakable connection, the isolation of the wilderness is too daunting, so we stay in our factions and echo chambers. As hard as things are in the world right now, it's not just our polarizing culture that weakens our belief in inextricable human connection and strains our spiritual commitment to one another. It's also navigating the demands of our everyday lives. People are wonderful, and they can be hard. My favorite Peanuts cartoon is Linus crying, "I love mankind. It's people I can't stand." Everyday life can be incredibly hard, and the people around us can push us to the very edge of our nerves and our civility. As we close today, let's take time to honor our lost friends and loved ones. Let's give thanks to the divine for the gifts they have been in our lives and the lives of so many others. Let's acknowledge that some people are blessings, beautiful gifts in our lives. Some people do push us to the ends of our resources. It's true. But so many people give us more resources than we ever deserve. Let's breathe in Spirit's blessed gift of comfort and release, so that as we exhale, we might let go of that deep pain that has held us captive for so long. The pain that we store within hearts and minds and souls. the grief that seems omnipresent and unceasing. May Spirit help us to grieve in healthy ways so that as we inhale once again, we breathe in restorative ways of being, wholeness, and a recognition that there across the room, across the street, on the other side of the Zoom meeting, are others with whom we can connect. We may not actually be able to hold hands right now, but our spirits can still connect. We can still connect with our hearts, our voices, our tears, our laughter. And together we can buoy up one another and share in both our brokenness and in our healing. May it be so. And may you find some connection in the days to come, connection that will be restorative, full of compassion and soul soothing. Bye-bye.